Hello, hello, hello. What is up? What is up? This is your buddy alertwolf here to bring you another anime review. This time it's on Majestic Prince, episode 11, and this one's called Operation Ares. Now, which is kind of funny because they're going to Mars. War gods, you know what I'm saying? War gods. But, alright, so basically, not to get too crazy into this episode, because, and actually I'll say this, it kind of almost reminded me of an episode of Star Trek or something, where, and that's a good thing, I guess, where basically, the team goes on a mission with the butler dude, the alien butler dude, and what happened was one of the enemy's flagships went down on Mars, and they want to go there so that he could retrieve the information on the computers that it could be used tactically. So the rabbit teams get sent in there, and I will say this: the MVP for this episode will go to Rose 3, because her unit was completely she was unfazed by the fact that they were in the middle of a desert storm on Mars, and Irie, or Tamaki. Irie Tamaki, there we go. So with all these names, there's a lot, there's 5 characters and all this, and I tend to remember them by their robots. So I remember Rose 3, but her actual name takes me a second to look it up. But basically, because she gets motivated by the operators on the ship, because they're flirting with her, and they're doing that because that's what her personality type is, and it makes her use her vehicle better. She's operating at like full speed ahead mode, whereas everybody else had to like take the less armored versions of their mobile suits. You know what I mean? Like the light versions of them without all the armor to operate. Now they find that there's a couple of stragglers still protecting the ships. Now what we find out is kind of important for character development here, because we have basically Blue 1 and Red 5 accompany the butler guy and his little crappy mecha that they gave him inside. And what happens is they learn he tells them more about the enemies, the Wulgaru's process, the fact that they clone soldiers and make them fight in these biomechanical everything. Their whole technology is based off of biomechanical technology. So the ships are bio, the robots are bio, and without their organic components to them, they're falling apart because they're literally decomposing. You find out that they clone their warriors, and so that they can continue the hunt after death, but they don't give them free will, and they're pre-programmed to do things. So they didn't know to try to evacuate the ship, and they're still protecting it even though they're dying and starving to death. They didn't even think to leave or leave the atmosphere, or try to rendezvous with the group. None of that, because their commander was either dead or missing. And so this really starts to hit them, because first off, Red 5, his deal is he's starting to see them more as human. The more and more he interacts, and it's harder for him to pull that trigger, he's starting to hesitate. And for him, this is sort of negative character development, but it's still development, and it's going to be that hurdle or bump he's going to have to rise up against. And, you know, there's some drama with the whole thing. the ship starts collapsing on him. Now, Butler Dude displays an awesome ability. His hand glows funny, and he's able to survive Mars without a suit. And he's able to memorize, with photographic memory, the entire ship's log. He's like, even if he doesn't mentally understand what he's memorizing, he just memorizes it, and he'll remember it and read it later. It's like he's copying and pasting the file to his brain almost, visually, and he hasn't even read the file yet. That's the best way to describe it. So, the second place, or the runner-up for the MVP, is Go Forward, because he's just nasty, hitting his targets, sniping people, and he's pretty good. But he pales in comparison to Rose 3. She is just on point the entire episode. The only one in full armor, blasting away at big, or not the only one in full armor, but the only one capable of action in full armor. She's flying around. They're worried because she's burning out her suit way too quickly. And she even the storm was blocking. They end up getting caved in, and they're stuck, and they need a blast to set them free. And Gold 4 tried to take the shot, but it was dissipated by the sand. So she comes in a swirl motion and creates a wind funnel, and to give him a clear shot, and he takes it. That's how good she is, because they're placating to the fact that they're flirting with her, and that's why she's doing so well. Okay, so then they evacuate everybody, take people off the ship. Mission successful, but her ship, Rose 3 ship. So Rose 3 ship is having problems when they pull in the hangar. It's about to overheat and explode. Luckily, her team is able to save her, and she's worried because she was hoping any of the other guys she liked saved her, but her team, the fat boys, the 3 big dudes, were able to save her, and then along with the help of everybody there, but with them in the lead, the other technicians. And that's pretty much the episode. The only other thing to notice, which I forgot just now, is as they were being hoisted up, Blue 1 and Red 5 were talking, and he's like, Blue 1 is like, how is it that we're not like these soldiers? We were both cloned, we were both forced to fight. He's like, no, I like to think there's a difference. This is Red 5 talking, our main boy, because he's like, we still have free will, we don't blindly follow orders, and we're here because we feel like it's the right thing to do, right? So we got to see some internal conflict there from Blue 1, questions about their own existence. They're becoming slightly deeper characters, which I like. Hopefully they'll explore this angle more and not let this thing die, and I think they will by the direction of this thing. Now, this episode, it was a rescue mission. Not a rescue mission, it was a salvage mission, but there wasn't too much action. It was a little bit of action, but it was still, I'm going to give it a 3. It was a good episode. We got some character development, which is always a plus. We learned more about the Wulgaru and their fighting methods. They're similar to the Zentradi, actually. That's what they remind, and the Zentradi and the Robotech Masters. So there you go. If you see any correlation there, maybe that's where they got some of the inspiration from. But who knows? I'm sure people responsible for this stuff all grew up on Robotech and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to get where the or Macross, as it would have been known, to get where the inspiration came from. But either way, the fact that they made me think of these shows, including Star Trek, and I'm not saying it reminded me of a specific episode, but it kind of felt like it could have been an episode minus the big robots and the fighting, just salvage, going into an alien ship, try to salvage some technology. Kind of feels, it has that sci-fi, classic sci-fi feel to it, and I dig that. Trying to think, is there anything else? No, I think that's it. I think you've heard enough from me. So, these are my feelings on the episode. So click it up if you like it, comment if you must, and please subscribe if you can. And this is your buddy Alert Wolf signing out.